Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. I'm going to be reading you a couple articles today, very important. I'm going to use my name in it because this is about me, and it's just going through quality. I hope to keep this short. I'm not going to do any placards. I will say this emphatically, that the data concerning these articles will be in the description below. That is very important. Daryl Guberman makes a powerful featured article which exposes the American National Standards Institute, the American National Crediting Board, need for impartial oversight from a U.S.-based organization. And I'm telling you this because back in 2022, I applied for ANSI's Director at Large. Let me just go back. 2019, I exposed a laboratory impropriety, which happened to be an issue. I'm not going to go into it. You'll find that below in the different featured articles and videos. But I exposed a factor where you had a Pamela Sale, the Vice President of Laboratory Accreditation, state under deposition that from one laboratory to another there are variances. There's no protocol, basically. They can do what they want. Thus, when you look at Wuhan, China, and the rest of that mess, she basically attests to the fact that, yes, that lab let the virus go. To make matters worse is that ANSI-ASQ-ANAB are underwriters for the International Accreditation Forum incorporated in Delaware and also the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. The funny thing is that ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, or as we fondly call it, is Laboratory Accreditation Credible, is run by an Eddie Fetter, which is an Israeli. Iran cannot be found on that board over there, but conversely, on the IAF, incorporated in Delaware, Iran and Pakistan, whose government stated that they were happy and glad to assist the terrorists of 9/11, kill the Americans, isn't that nice? And also, Pakistan harbored Osama bin Laden. You had Nikki Haley, who was on the UN, who's running for president now, state that we should not finance Pakistan due to this issue. I'm going to continue on. The quality organization, ANSI-ASQ-ANAB, is facing more credibility and even loyalty issues and questions. Authority in this space, Daryl Guberman, has presented a solution to these concerns in many videos and featured articles. When companies trust an organization to look at their quality standards, there is an expectation of trustworthiness and professionalism. Also, for American companies in this challenging world, many want to know the organization they work with regarding quality, are also firmly loyal to the United States of America. Sadly, all of these areas are lacking in 2023 when it comes to a major quality organization, the American National Standards Institute and the American National Crediting Board, that ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018. Guberman is well known for his close to 4 decades of experience in these areas, his passion and his unswerving loyalty to America and its allies. This and much more are come across very deeply and clearly in the featured articles and videos down below in the description. ANSI-ASQ-ANAB absolutely needs oversight from an organization that is U.S.-based, commented Guberman. This will help answer any questions about Chinese influence in ANSI or in its lack of work ethic that we keep hearing about again and again. Example: Pfizer skipped quality processes and standards, sits on ANSI by their federal counterpart, the FDA, USDA, CDC, NIH. Lockheed Martin, for example, after their 801st F-35, still have quality issues up to including loss of aircraft, loss of pilot, and they too sit on ANSI's board. Right over by the accreditation body, ANAB, and the federal agencies, the FAA, DOJ, FBI, DOT. You also have Johnson & Johnson, who had a recall of 75 million vials of the COVID vaccine, skipping quality processes and contamination. You also have Boeing on board, who most recently got caught again, basically not doing documentation, and they require on their supplier portal, they require ANSI-ASQ-ANAB, or internationally equivalent, which could be Iran and Pakistan, who also sit on the IAF, and they are equivalent in accreditation to ANAB. ANSI has a huge responsibility due to its role in quality. It's not just the means for like Joe Bathia, who is stepping down this year, 2024, because he's made his millions. He's fucked the government and those federal agencies, but not really fucked. He's in bed with them. So you could say he fucked them. By the way, fuck is a quality term. Because when you're on an aircraft and they fudge documentation and it's going down, you say, we are fucked. That means the quality was not good on that aircraft. Guberman has certainly been the nation and quality industry's most prolific voice, both pointing out and breaking down in easy to understand ways how ANSI-ASQ-ANAB and its sister organization, the IAF, who's also ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, is in Australia, understand ways how ANSI and a few other organizations are taking advantage of their position, as well as companies who may not be as well versed in the quality area, or know of ANSI's and ANAB's ties to Iran and Pakistan and other enemies of America. Guberman has educated both through his YouTube videos and featured articles and directly answering questions without fail on the vital subject of American business. Guberman PMC is a leading independent quality assurance company who's been open for almost 13 years in the United States. They're always interested in discussing potential clients' quality needs and how they can meet them in transparent and affordable ways. And I hate that term, transparency. We'll just meet you, okay? Transparency. If anybody uses transparency, they're usually lying. I apologize for the person who wrote this. Guberman added, in the past, Mr. Bathia has chosen either to ignore or refuse to discuss the importance of proper and effective oversight for ANSI. Now he is retiring in December 2024, which is why I'm taking this matter public once again. My objective is to bring much needed attention to the inconsistencies within the standards community involving oversight controversies and registrars and accreditation bodies refusing to acknowledge the problem is a dangerous game to play, particularly when loss of life is at stake, as most recently seen by the Boeing V-22 going down for the armed services, and our soldiers got killed in that crash. Boeing, Lockheed, as well as other manufacturers of medical implants and other critical components manufacturers under the ANSI-ASQ-ANAB standards. Guberman concluded ANSI-ASQ-ANAB and other quality standard organizations should welcome such criticism and discuss possible solutions rather than expect these deeply concerning problems to just vanish in thin air. For God's sake, Joe, don't ignore these red flags and the dangers it is clearly brings to airline passengers, to medical, automotive, electronics, hospitalized patients, and everyday consumers purchasing products, services under ANSI's standards. Yes, and it's a failure. The standards have failed us, and that's because you have like Lockheed Martin, after their 801st ship, still producing shit. You have Pfizer skipping quality processes and standards. You have Johnson & Johnson doing the same thing. You have Boeing fudging documentation from 2007 to 2018. They said that they were fudging. They weren't even filling out documentation for autoclave operation in the operation of V-22. How do we know? As I'm a composite person, how do we know that that autoclave was at the right PSI to make that fabric of composites mesh together, really adhere to each other? How do we know that it didn't disbond in flight through vibrational stresses? We don't know that. Boeing does. Remember, they're the tops when it comes to fudging documentation. My telephone number is 203-556-1493. The rest of the data you'll find in the description. I thank you.